everyone, hope you're well and having a fabulous day. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Lara and I'm all about helping people live healthy, happy and free. And I wanted to talk about the free bit today because how many of you have got hopes or dreams or aspirations or ideas that maybe you want to start your own business, you want to start a restaurant, you want to do something different. Maybe that's going to step you out of the traditional 9 to 5. And then you went to spoke to someone about it, maybe a friend or a family member, and they were like, ooh, that's not a good idea. You shouldn't do that. Don't do that, guys, because you're totally speaking to the wrong people and getting advice from totally the wrong people. So when I was 16, I really wanted to be a doctor. So I went to speak to loads of doctors about it. I did a little bit of work shadowing in a local general practice firm. I did work placement in a hospital for a week. And that gave me the opportunity to really decide whether I wanted to be a doctor. And for 3 years, that was like top of my list. That's absolutely what I wanted to do until I decided to become a psychologist instead. But the point is, I spoke to people who are experts in the field. If you want to be a doctor, speak to doctors. If you want to be a pilot, speak to pilots. If you want to set up a successful online business, speak to people who've set up online businesses. Like, you have to speak to the people who have been successful in that field in order to make a proper decision. There's 2 places you shouldn't look or bother speaking to, or look, blogs. And you shouldn't speak to friends and family. Well, you can speak to them, but don't get your advice from them, right? So let's talk about blogs for a minute. Blogs are opinions, they aren't fact. So if Joe Blogs has set up his blog and maybe he set up a vegan restaurant last year and he's written a blog post about how difficult it was, how rubbish it was, and his business failed, 60% of restaurants fail in their first year, blah, 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 blah. You're gonna go on that blog and you're gonna feel really negative about the idea of setting up your restaurant if that's what you wanna do. And there'll be loads of negative reviews out there. There are negative reviews out there about everything. So if I went onto Google now and I quickly Googled like negative reviews about Apple or Microsoft or Virgin, like 3 really successful businesses, and no one can deny that, but there are going to be a ton of people out there that have written negative reviews about them. It doesn't make them bad companies. It just means that some people haven't had the best experience with them. And you can't take those people's opinions and let it kind of blanch out everything else. It's just not a useful place to look for advice. And the other place is friends and family. Yes, I know friends and family are always looking out for your best. So what happens is that you'll get a little bit of news maybe from a relation who said, oh, I read this in the news and it says that you mustn't set up an online business because you're going to be £10,000 in debt. Or they've said, oh, you shouldn't really set up a vegan restaurant because, you know, veganism is a fad, or whatever it is, right? I obviously don't believe that, but that's what I'm saying, is that people might do that. People will do that. When I went to set up my own online business, I got a ton of concerned people asking me whether, like, why do you want to do that? Is this the right thing to do? Do you think this is, gonna keep your brain ticking over, was one question I got asked. But the point is, people have their opinions and it is not truth or fact. If you are making a decision, in the middle of making a decision, go and speak to people who've been successful in that industry already. Speak to people who've already made it as restaurant owners or online entrepreneurs or people who have set up particular side hustles. That's who you should speak to, not to blogs and friends and family. So I hope that's helpful for you. Make sure you're getting your advice from the right place. And like and subscribe. Bye.